One man who's made not a surprise visit, but a first of many over to this side of the waters, Barry Geraghty teaming up, but I suppose you could call him your boss, Nicky Enders.
Yeah, definitely my boss. Horse ran well, thanks for coming. Jumped well, travelled well. I'd say he'll probably improve for the run, but he didn't need it. He didn't need it badly, so it's a good indication for what's to come, I hope.
Yeah, but that's it for you, isn't it? It's a marker for the rest of them as well.
Exactly, yeah. But as I say, he ran a good race, and he was just touched off.
In these colours as well, coming up in the bumper?
Yeah, he's had a couple of good runs. I think he has a great chance. Lonnie Hills probably gets in well, both at its weight, and he's got a £10 conditional on board, so if he does his job well, he's going to make it difficult maybe.
Now, you're going to make a few trips across the water in the coming few months, but the schooling part of it as well is something that you're going to be doing a lot more of, I hear.
Yeah, schooled a good few this morning, and they all jumped well. A lot of youngsters and some older names, but it was a good morning. You know, it's just to get it started, and I'll be doing that every week for the next. That's every week between now and March nearly.
So you'll be getting up the frequent flyer points.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure I'm back again for Cheltenham next week, and school a few then as well. So it'll be.
But you must it's a great time of the year, isn't it?
Oh, it is definitely. You know, lots to look forward to. Hopefully things stay right with. You know, you're always going to have a few casualties, so hopefully things stay right with as many as possible, and there's lots to look forward to.
But if you go back to last year and just even rewind the clock back a few months to Cheltenham, that must have been a pinch yourself a few days.
Oh, it was, yeah. We knew we had some great chances going into the meeting. Obviously, Sprinter Sacre, Simonsig were the two standouts, I'd say. So we were very hopeful that they would deliver. But a few more did what we'd hoped to do, but we were only hopeful of. Finian's Rainbow had a great chance, but he really lived up to the promise that he had shown as a novice. Bobs Worth got back on track again, and Riverside Theatre, you know, he battled. That was a great performance by him to battle back from having had no chance really with 4 to jump.
And what about Simonsig, a horse, you know, who, like you say, he was one of the almost hype horses going into the meeting. Did he surpass even your expectations?
He did. Any horse to win as easy as he did, you'd have to be. You know, you can never expect to win a race in Cheltenham as easy as that. But he was very good. And, you know, the world's his oyster, whether he goes jumping a fence or stays over hurdles. I suppose we'll be deciding that in the next few weeks.
But Nicky said that in consultation with you, they decided to go for the longer race as opposed to the Supreme. He looks to have a lot of speed.
He has a lot of pace, and there's probably not many horses that would go with him at home. He has a lot of speed. I was always of the impression that, although he jumps well, and he does jump his hurdles well, he could just get a little bit, if he missed 1 or 2, he could land a little bit awkwardly, and over 2 miles you wouldn't have the chance to recover that you would over further. So we felt stepping up on trip was just going to give him that little bit of a luxury to be just going a gear slower and having more time to organise himself really.
And what about Sprinter Sacre? You know, you talk about a horse as, you know, he's almost, you know, the great hope, because the boss has never hidden his love of the horse.
Yeah, he's something special. You know, I've been lucky enough to ride some very good horses over the years, and I suppose Moscow Flyer I've always had at the top of my pecking order. And in fairness to him, it's hard to say Sprinter Sacre is better than him, but only time will tell. But I've never ridden a horse that just goes at a fence and gets from one side to the other side. The way he does it, the style he does it, he's unbelievable.
You can tell he's lighting the fire. And what about Bobs Worth, a horse that you've known for some time?
Yeah, I bought Bobs Worth as a yearling, and the boss bought him off me as a 4-year-old. So he
stole him off you?
Stole him, exactly, yeah. But I'm getting the bonuses now, thankfully. But he's a horse I think who never really sets the place alight. He only ever does as much as he has to do. And, you know, he probably goes a little bit underrated. Only time will tell how far he can go, but he's done everything he's been asked to do.
And do you think can he make up into a Gold Cup horse?
Well, he'll beat an average horse by 2 or 3 lengths, and he'll make hard work of it, and he beats a good horse 2 or 3 lengths. So it'll be interesting to see, because every time you put something in front of him, you know, when he's healthy and well and things go right, he's beaten them. He's a very good strike rate. I think he's won probably 6 or 7 from about 10 starts. So he hasn't been beaten too often. So as I say, he's underrated. And
even, I know it's very early days, but talking about the King George, you know, Finian's Rainbow is another one that's been talked about as a possible contender.
Yeah, he won over 2.5 in Aintree and was very good there. He's an Irish pointer. There's no reason to say why he wouldn't get the trip the way he did in Aintree. So it'll be interesting to see, really.
You rode him that day when he made that really bad mistake at Kempton and got off him and felt that he might even get 3 miles.
Yeah, I suppose that was 2 mile in Kempton. He did well to recover that day, but I suppose we're basing the King George more on Aintree than. He's settling better this year, and that's probably the key to him getting further, and even having got home so well in Cheltenham. He didn't get home there last year in the Arkle because he had ran so keen, but he got home well this year, and as I say, he got home well in Aintree over 2.5, so it's definitely an interesting one.
But as well, you're going to have a lot of busy days coming up, and are we going to see you a lot more in England this year? Because you came sort of 3 days a week last year.
Yeah, it just varies, It depends whenever I'm needed. I'm happy to come over, so it's not a bad spin across.
No, very good. And what about your Irish contacts as well? Are you going to be riding in Ireland on Sundays as well?
Yeah, I've been busy enough through the summer, riding some nice horses for different yards, really. Good few for Edward O'Grady. I'm riding a few for Michael Horrigan as well.
That's a combination, you and Edwards, goes back a long time.
Yeah, I'd say since I was claiming. And he's always been a great supporter, and I've ridden Cheltenham winners and everything for him, so we've had a good time together. But I've been riding a good few for him, as I say, Michael Horrigan as well. He's a nice team of young horses. I've been riding a few for him as well. I'm more or less freelance at home, so you never know what's going to turn up.
One of the best horses I've ever seen runs at the weekend, Frankel. If you were to sum him up in one sentence, Frankel.
Oh, he's a monster. He's a monster. Simple as he's such a class horse, but there's lots of horses promised to do what he does. They shape up and they travel and they arrive, and when he gets that squeeze, he goes and he goes and goes again. He's just a class act.
Thanks. Brilliant.